The vast world of objects is our first specialty category. This includes ceramics and glass, metals, wooden objects, organics, and multimedia. Objects are often a composite of plant and animal materials, which are organic, partnered with inorganic components like metals and paint. The surfaces and structures of objects can be complex, and decisions about how to handle them as equally complex. For it is when an object is handled that it will most often sustain damage. Before handling an object, consider what vulnerabilities are present in the surface and structure. The object's surface gives the first cues as to the frailties one must beware of and whether gloves should be worn. Imaging science aids us in determining that gloves should be worn when handling metal objects, as we can see their surfaces are highly susceptible to corrosion caused by the oily and acidic secretions on our skin. You can see the droplet residue in this magnification. This SEM of a finger shows fingerprint ridges and the secretion droplets. This photomicrograph captured the damage of this copper alloy blunderbuss barrel seconds after it was touched by a finger. We certainly would not want to cause such damage to a surface as blemish-free as these Revere silver tankards. Always consider what type of glove to wear in each situation, as there are some metal and other fragile surfaces that pose additional concern. Never use cotton gloves with polyvinyl chloride nubs, as they can abrade unstable surfaces and leave a residue. This teapot, made of painted tin sheet iron, often called tollware, has a surface of friable paint that could get snagged and further damaged by handling with cotton gloves. Nitrile gloves are the preferred buffer for objects with unstable surfaces, but precautions must be taken while wearing either nitrile or cotton gloves. Tactile sensitivity is reduced by both types of gloves, and the nitrile causes hands to sweat, which requires hand washing when the gloves are removed and before further object handling. Organic materials such as leather, horn, ivory, and baleen are absorbent and will permanently absorb the secretions of one's skin onto their surfaces, eventually causing darkening and stain. On the other hand, one does not want to wear gloves when handling all objects. As is true with handling objects in general, handle ceramics and glass objects as little as possible, and always wash your hands before handling. Never wear gloves when handling any type of ceramics or glass, unless specifically instructed to do so. The decision to wear nitrile or cotton gloves or not to wear gloves is important to object safety and must be made on an individual basis after assessing all available information about the object.
And the issue for handling has to do with the fact that the leather is fragile, and so if you're going to pick this up with cotton gloves, your gloves are going to become full of material. And so the nitrile gloves will be better because they will not tend to absorb and pick up as much of the surface. And then the other complication remains just the nature.
Seek the assistance from someone who knows the material and artifact. To help prevent accidents from happening when handling objects, follow these approaches. Always examine an object in place before touching it. Look for loose, moving, and removable parts. Ceramics and glass are most often damaged by a drop. Recognize an object's vulnerable areas. Rims on plates and bowls are often very weak and may have hairline cracks. Falling parts are a common cause of damage. Lids, attachments, and even candles can fall when handled and drop on nearby objects. Never lift an object by the rim, handles, knobs, or decorative motifs. Use both hands to support the object uniformly. Objects can appear stable to the naked eye, but examination under ultraviolet light, fluorescence clearly shows where repairs have been made. These areas are never as strong as the original. Handling and moving objects present many opportunities for damage to occur. Therefore, if you find it necessary to actually move an object from one location to another, make every effort to protect the object. Use appropriate materials and tools to safely complete the task.